I did a workshop at Mercer. They brought me over because I taught the human relations class here and the oppression class. So they brought me over to the Mercer PTA, I don't remember how many years ago. And so people asked me questions on these little 3x5 note cards so you wouldn't know where the questions are coming from. And one of the questions was, how come my kid doesn't have any black friends? So I don't know who gave me the card. So, and the audience was almost universally white. So I said to the audience, I said, how many of you have black friends, have ever had a black family to your house? Not one hand went up. And so I said, what you've done is to model that there are certain people acceptable in my house and certain people not. And one of the reasons is that you've never modeled the ability of your kid to reach out and invite someone, often of a different religion, of a different race, of a different ethnic group, but most of you live in Mercer, of a different socioeconomic group, into your home.
In the midst of this transition, my husband and I were trying to make sure that we had done the right thing. We weren't exactly sure, but we thought we were. But while we were doing this, we were also trying to encourage the other parents, because my husband worked diligently with the scouting and with the other parents, and to see what their opinions were. And as a result, things seemed to work out. Slowly but surely they did. We didn't have any real problems. I think it was more in our minds that things weren't going to work out, we were thinking positively. However, if you haven't seen these things in action, especially when your own children are involved, then you have a little, I can't say doubt, but you're just a little concerned, and I think that's the way you should be.
My earliest memories of sending my kids to kindergarten was them each coming home and asking, why do the kids with brown skin get pulled out for extra help? And it's that I think kind of set me on this time of questioning to try to answer that for them and to myself, because that's something that was in my awareness, as a citizen of the United States, that we still have a long way to go as far as equity and inclusion are concerned. But when your child comes home and presents those questions, it's a challenge to try to come up with an answer on the spot. The best part of living here, without a doubt, is the people. I would be hard pressed to think of a time in my life where I've been able to raise my children alongside and build community with people who are committed as much as the people who live in Shaker Heights are committed. They're committed to each other, to lifting each other up, to the environment, to the city, to education, to politics. So to be in a place that is so engaged, it's a gift to me, but to raise children in an environment that offers all of those things it's an incredible gift. Some of the work that is yet to be done at Onaway is to look carefully at events like a PTO speaker series and dig more deeply into why the audience is still largely white and what we do about that. Right? Is it the content? Is it the timing? I think those are all easy answers. My sense is that it's the feel of the room. If you are a mom or a dad or a grandma or an aunt or uncle of color, why would you walk into that space if it doesn't look like a space for you? And that's my clumsy, humble way of interpreting that. But if I put myself in that position, I can't imagine feeling comfortable.
I absolutely feel that there were teachers that had biases against my kids because they were Black, because they were African American. And we encountered some of that along the way. My daughter in 7th grade, we had a teacher that said, I'm watching her, and this was curriculum night, and curriculum night, I believe, is the 3rd week in the school year. I'm watching her, she may have to move down to another algebra class. And at that point, I questioned the teacher as to what happened to, I'm watching her, she may need to come in for conferences, or I'm watching her, she may need a tutor, or I'm watching her, she may need extra help. Are you willing as a parent to support her with extra help? And then if all of these things fail, she may have to move to the next algebra class or move down. We didn't have that. We had, I'm watching her, she may have to move. She can't cut it, she may have to move. And so I felt like that was definitely a bias because she was African American, and I felt like the teacher felt she couldn't do the work. Instead of, if we support her with the right resources, I think she can do the work. But at least here we're having the conversations. We're doing the hard work. And it is hard, and it gets ugly, it gets nasty, but the good thing is that most of the people in Shaker know that these kinds of things only correct themselves and get better when you stay the course and you do the hard work and you keep going in and you keep diving in, because the end result is worth it.